Hello there everyone and welcome to a new review on the channel, and today we're going to be looking at another new product, and that is the Con by Steve Cook and Dead Man's Rebel. So this is very interesting. I think a lot of people are going to like what this is. This is essentially a retake of Steve Cook's Gamble in more of a fancier way, with fancier props, premise, story, etc. in kind of this new Dead Man Rebel kind of Western vibe. We're going to be looking at another one of their products shortly on the channel, but this is kind of the Western vibe and this is no different. I think it's very good and I think a lot of people are going to enjoy this, especially if you do not own Gamble. So let's roll the intro and get straight into it. Perfect, so you decide to stick around, which means you want to learn more about the Con. So what is the Con? The Con is essentially an effect where you give a spectator an open prediction. They're going to make all of the choices and your prediction is going to match. And it's made much more interesting once you put the presentation and a story behind it, which is what I'm going to do right now in a performance. Now, I won't do the entire performance for you, but I'm going to speed it up and maybe cut a few corners to not make the video extremely long. But essentially, you would introduce to your spectators that you have here this box, and this is actually kind of a printed box of a replica that they used to use in the end of the 1940s, because essentially this is a box of one of the best gun salesmen at the time. So essentially what he would do is he would sell really expensive guns for dirt cheap. So a lot of people would go to him to purchase his guns, but what they wouldn't notice is that he would only sell them the guns. He would sell them no accessories. So no holster, no bullets, nothing. And those were much more expensive than anywhere else. So then what he would do is when people wanted to go away and be like, okay, I'm going to purchase my stuff elsewhere, he would tell them, look, I have a proposition for you. We can play a game. If you win the game, I'm going to give you all the accessories for free. If you lose the game, then you're going to have to buy all of them from me. Does that interest you? Then the people would inquire what the game is. So this is what the game would play like. He would remove from his pocket a wallet and he would tell the participant, can you hold your hand like this? Because I'm going to give you something here. I'm going to give you something that I don't want you to see. So then you would put this in the hand of the spectator, you'd have them close it around and place it in their pocket. So they're going to place it in their pocket without looking. So they do not look, because that is essentially what I'm going to try to influence you. If at the end I manage to influence you and you manage to pick the exact same thing as what I gave you, then that means I win. If not, that means you win. And you have 3 chances out of 4 for winning. So you have a 75% chance of winning. So all the odds are in your favor. Are you willing to try? And then the spectator would say yes. So you say, okay, so what I have here are 4 chips. I have here a brown chip, a blue chip, a red chip, and a white chip. So all you have to do is have to take these, place them inside of the wallet, and give them a mix. So they would give them a mix. And then you tell them, perfect, now mix them up with your hand and just take out one. Without looking, just take out one and place it on the table. Perfect. Now go again, the same process, take out another one and place it on the table. So again, they would do that on top. You say again, take another one, and then the last one and place that one on top of that. Was that fair? They would say completely yes. So you had a free choice of what order to stack these in, correct? From the start, there was also something inside of the wallet. There was actually a note that I wrote you to prove to you that I was able to influence you. And it's written on this card, and it says, the 3rd chip down will match the chip in your pocket. And I will let that zoom in. So the 3rd chip down will match the chip in your pocket. So this would be 1, 2, and 3. This would be the 3rd chip down, the white one. You had a free choice. Can you remove the chip from your pocket? And of course, it's going to be a perfect match, and then he would essentially scam the person into buying all of his gadgets as well. So instead, people would end up actually paying more at his business than others, and that's how he would hassle them into doing so. So that's essentially what this looks like. Again, the performance is not the best because I don't have someone to interact with, but that is what this effect would look like in certain scenarios. So now that we've covered that, let's talk about where you buy this, how much does it cost, and what do you get. So you can buy this pretty much anywhere it is distributed from Murphy's Magic, so you can buy it from all your favorite magic dealers. It will set you back $45 US, which is around 60 Canadian, And what you get with your purchase is quite a lot. One, you're gonna get this box, which is either to keep your product or to actually carry it around with you for story purposes. I've spun the story that you've heard. I develop it a bit more in actual performance, but I like to have the box here with me, which helps me with the story, okay? But if you don't want to, for practicality reasons, you can just carry the wallet. We're gonna get to that in a moment, but you're gonna get this box. Inside of this box, you're also going to get a tutorial video, which is 17 minutes long. It has a live performance and it goes over everything that you need to know in incredible detail with the Dead Man's Rebels group. So he's going to teach you everything that you need to know. Everything is well filmed. You're going to get that. Then you're also going to get this vintage looking card with your prediction on it. You're going to get this beautiful leather wallet, beautiful interior, beautiful exterior, very, very quality. And then you're also going to get all of these poker chips. You're going to get your prediction chip. And then you're also going to get 4 other chips. These look brilliant. These handle brilliantly. They look incredible. They're very much quality. I think these are made out of, they seem like wood, but I feel they're like plastic. But I think they're like some hard plastic, but these are going to last you an incredibly long time. They're incredibly well made. So that is everything that you get with your money. So with your money, you are getting a lot of props, and the props that you are getting are very much quality. Everything here is of the utmost quality in terms of products. So that's what you get with your purchase. Now let's talk about difficulty. So how difficult is this to perform? So the con is relatively easy to perform. It is pretty much simple. Everything happens in how it's supposed to. I mean, I think a lot of you know, if you've been in Magic, the method behind this. If you've seen this performance and you watched the performance in the trailer, I think you understand how this would work and you would understand the principles, especially if you own Gamble, which is an effect that a lot of people have owned in the past and still perform to this day. This is essentially the same method, just restructured to look a bit better and look more vintage and have a more interesting story spin. But overall, presentation-wise and difficulty-wise, it is pretty much beginner level. In terms now of practicality, so how practical is this? In terms of carrying capacity, you're either going to carry around just your wallet, so just this small wallet, or you can take the wallet and have it inside of the box, which is what I do when I perform it, which means that this is not something that I'm going to carry every day, so I'm not going to carry around a box in my pockets or whatever. But if you want this to be an everyday carry or anything like that, you can just carry around the small wallet with you. Maybe you can throw a credit card in there or whatever. I'm just, saying in case you want that. But you can carry it around with you as an everyday wallet for performance. I personally wouldn't carry my money and stuff in there because you'd have to remove it for every single performance. But still, it is something that's going to fit in your pocket without any problems whatsoever. Now let's talk about essentially the rest of it. So is it inspectable? And the answer is yes. So in most scenarios, everything is going to be inspectable. For example, in the scenario that I've done in the performance here, everything can be inspected. The wallet, the card, the chips, everything. There is nothing to see. The box, everything can be inspected. There are some other venues where you would not necessarily want them to inspect it. I can't say more, but relatively, I would say 50% of the time it is fully inspectable. 50% of the time it is already so free and so clean that I don't think anyone would want to inspect anything else, okay? Now let's talk about repeatability. This can be repeated, but not to the same group because it would always be the same outcome and the method will be apparent if you repeat it to the same group. Additionally, you do need a table for this. I wouldn't perform this standing up. I think you would have to have someone hold their hands like this and it would complicate things too much. So you do need a table to perform this. And lastly, angle-wise, it is pretty much 360 regarding angles. And the last possible thing that we can mention about practicality is the reset. The reset is instant. You just put everything back in the wallet and you're good to go. Where would you perform the con? The con is something that you can perform pretty much anywhere as long as you have an actual spectator. So this is not something you're going to do virtually, and personally it's not something you're going to necessarily want to do on stage or cabaret, right? In small parlor venues, you can make this work, or in any one-on-one or for small groups, or going from table to table at an event or at a restaurant. You can definitely do this effect because you can also play with the script. You can do it as long and developed or as short and underdeveloped as you want in order to save time. That is fully up to you. but performance-wise, this can be performed in quite a lot of venues where you would see it fit. Having said all of this, what are now the positives and negatives of the con? And we will start out with the negatives of the con. So one of the negatives of the con is the fact that 50% of the time you won't necessarily have everything inspected. You won't necessarily want the spectator to inspect the wallet, and 50% of the time, not if they find what's in the wallet, it would ruin the effect. It would probably not. But again, you wouldn't want to risk it. So for certain performances, you won't have everything inspected, but those performances are the cleanest of them all. So I don't think logically anyone would want to inspect it. So it's not a major negative. It's not even a major problem. It's not something that I'm thinking about, but it is something that could be, applicable to some people in case they want everything to be 100% open and clear and free. That is something you do have to keep in mind. And the last one is that you do need a table. So you're going to need a table to perform this every single time in order to make it as clean as possible. Now let's talk about the positives. So what are the positives? One, the instructional video is great. The props that you get are incredible quality. The routine is fun to perform. The routine is fun for the spectator. It opens a ton of presentational capabilities and hooks. It's very modular. So you can also, as I mentioned, because of that, you can make it play very long or you can make it play very short. It's easy to understand and it's also very much practical and a fun routine to do. So having said all of this, what is my opinion? Would I recommend it and what do I give it out of 10? Would I recommend the con? And my answer is yes. I think if you do not own Gamble by Steve Cook, that has been hailed as one of the best EDCs of all time, I think that you should maybe look into this because you will probably be performing it because it is very much self-working and very good. So I honestly do recommend the con. What do I give it out of 10? I'm giving the con an 8.75 on 10. I think it is absolutely great. It is something that I'm going to be performing a lot, especially in conjunction possibly with the other effect I'm going to be reviewing in a few days, which is Free William Hicks, also from Dead Man's Rebel. So stay tuned in for that. But overall, it's a very good product and I think a lot of people are going to be enjoying it. So having said that, thank you all for watching. If ever you have any questions, as always, leave them down below. If not, I'll see you all in my next review. Have a great one and bye-bye.